Hey everyone, I'm back with a shorter and more polished video. Last time around I ranked every episode of Phineas and Ferb and well, yeah, it wasn't worth the severe lack of views. I am happy I managed to get it out, considering I've been waiting to do this ever since I rewatched the series from scratch in December of 2022, and I must thank the Tumblr community for giving me views, cause golly, y'all are the only peeps who actually watched. Anyways, I don't really care. Here's another video I've been meaning to get around for quite a while. And by quite a while, I mean like a week or so, but time's illusion, who cares? Anyways, anyone find it a bit annoying that Dan and Swampy gave us so little in the Disney Expo? It both makes me incredibly excited and also unfathomably impatient. Anyways, of the many things revealed, it was stated that there's a possibility of a three-way Dwampyverse crossover, and well, my initial reaction was not all that positive. Do not get me wrong, I love all three of these shows. Phineas and Ferb is and always will be my favorite episodic show of all time. Milo Murphy's Law is so close to being a masterpiece and I love it. I held off Hamster and Gretel for a really long time, worrying it due to it being a show made by Dan Povenmire would suffer from the same identity flaws Milo Season 2 has, but to my surprise it didn't, and I liked it as well. I like all three of these shows as they are, but the idea of a three-way crossover is just not a good one. Simple as pie. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best way I could have put it, so I'm going to split this vid into sections so I can break it down in detail, if that's okay with y'all. Phineas and Ferb on its own often fails to balance character screen time. This is most evident with Stacy and Jeremy. They both always get the short end of the stick in big episodes, since Candace is usually playing a non-busting role. Stacy and Jeremy are usually just reduced to cheerleader status in order to avoid screen cramp. As a big Stacy fan, this does not get any less annoying. It was so sad to see that she and Jeremy were the only major characters to not make a physical appearance in Milo Murphy's Law, and even more annoying to see them get so heavily sidelined in Candace Against the Universe. The main issue here is that to an extent, the A-plot and B-plot gang cannot interact, forcing two different settings, or contrived reasons to have Perry hide. Also, as we can see from Milo Murphy's Law Season 2 premiere, the Phineas and Ferb effect, the screen cramp is clearly there. The cast just feels over-bloated, and Isabella gets disgustingly sidelined for some reason. More on that later. As far as Milo Murphy's Law goes, the odds are much better, as the main cast is smaller and are allowed to interact as one. Cast in question being the main kid trio, the time traveler couple, Sarah and Dog. See what I mean? 7 characters, much more tame than Phineas and Ferb's cast. Hamster and Gretel has the smallest main cast, with just 5. 7 if you include Hiromi and Anthony. Anyways, back to talking about Phineas and Ferb effect. In spite of being nearly an hour long, this episode still somehow failed to avoid screen cramp, as shown by things like Sarah being sidelined or Izzy literally not getting to do anything. Like, I thought it was going crazy when I first watched the episode. As other characters made their appearances, I just kept screaming, "Where is Isabella?" And let me just say, I know for a fact that I was not the only one. It's one thing to sideline less important characters like Stacy, Jeremy, Nessa, and Norm, but Izzy is so prominent, it feels so weird to see her playing such a minor role. Some may say the issue is from them trying to do the crossover while also trying to finish such a major plot point, and while I think that is an issue on its own, it more than anything begs the question. Like, seriously, what would a crossover even be about? How would it come to be? And most importantly, how will the A and B plots intersect? Keeping in mind that the Phineas and Ferb effect failed to keep the balance with only 2 shows on the scale. Who would Hamster and Gretel be interacting with? The kids or Doof? What about Kevin? Where does he come in? Would Milo and friends be with the other kids or with Doof? Who would the time traveler duo be interacting with? How about Dog? And Perry for that matter. Oh, and what about Sarah? Is she just gonna get sidelined again? The more I think about it, the more I think that would be immensely difficult to make a crossover episode that isn't messy as hell. As I mentioned before, the main reason I'd avoided Hamster and Gretel for so long is that I was scared of it losing its identity to Phineas and Ferb like Milo did, but golly, I was wrong. Milo's Season 2 was a massive downgrade from the masterpiece that was Season 1. After the crossover, it basically just became the Doof show, with him taking over the main cast, and maybe I wouldn't have hated it nearly as much as I did if he wasn't so unbelievably annoying in the show. They basically just took all the worst parts of his character in Mission Marvel and Where's Perry and combined them. He has 3 focus episodes and they all suck, except Milo's Shadow. That one was funny.
Yes! Another victory over Murphy's Law! Victory dance! Yeah, that's right. I got it. Look at me, mama. I'm like a cereal commercial from the 80s.
Worst part is that a lot of Milo characters took the hit and in favor of Doof lost a lot of screen time. I think my girl Sarah got hit the hardest. She didn't get a single focus episode that was disconnected from Doof and was sidelined in every big episode. Hamster and Gretel has Phineas and Ferb references and the implication that it takes place in the same universe as the other two, but it does not sell its identity to become Phineas and Ferb the Third, and I respect it for that. I mean, at least it hasn't yet. I guess I'm just kind of worried that any sort of crossover between the two shows will lead to a rabbit hole of issues similar to Milo Murphy's Law Season 2. And I know it's shallow thinking, but can you blame me? I just want Hamster and Gretel to remain its own thing. Case in point that it didn't work the first time, it probably wouldn't work again, which is in turn a shame because golly, I'd do anything to see Milo and Co. again. Anything but a crossover. If anything, Milo should have been the one being revived, but gee, I don't make the rules, so whatever. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say. Sorry if this video was overly negative. I want a 3-way crossover to work. I just don't think it would. Shame. Anyway, the 5 of you that are actually gonna watch this vid should comment your take. Believe it or not, I actually like to hear other people's opinions. Also like the video, but don't sub. I would elaborate, just don't. Anyway, don't step on Lego and bye now.